Welcome back to 50 for 50. This is the video series where I take one horror movie from each of the 50 years of my life and review it for you. Let's get started. Today is the 1987 movie Hellraiser, directed by Clive Barker. In Morocco, deviant Frank buys a mysterious puzzle box. Back at home, he successfully opens it only to be ruthlessly pulled apart by chains. The strange creatures called Cenobites come in, and their leader, Pinhead, closes the box and the room goes back to normal. However, a little bit of residue is left of Frank. Fast forward, and Frank's brother Larry and his wife Julia move into the house. But Larry's daughter Kirsty decides she doesn't want to live in the house and rents a room close by. While moving in, Larry cuts his hand moving in the mattress, and the blood from his hand seeps into the floor and gets on the residue of Frank, which somehow starts to revive Frank. Needing blood to fully resurrect himself, he uses Julia, his former lover, to bring men back to the house to feed him and bring him back to life. For a 1980s movie, the gore and special effects were really good in this movie. Now I get towards the end, the special effects got a little hokey, but I understand that their budget was so low that by the time they got to the end that Clive Barker was actually doing the special effects himself because he couldn't afford to hire somebody to do them at that point. So that kind of explains that. I thought this movie was really interesting and really good. Although not exactly my taste, I still found it interesting. I had an instant dislike to Julia the first time I saw her on the screen. She just seemed to think that she was above everyone and that she was better than everyone else. And let's face it, this lady definitely had a problem. If she would continue an affair with a man who didn't even have any skin and got in the skin of her husband, and it was just disturbing. I felt really bad for Larry's character. He had a really good relationship with his daughter, and Julia was ruining that. This movie just made me feel icky in parts, particularly the part where Frank reveals himself to Kirsty, and he kind of insinuates he wants to have some sort of sexual affair with her and is upset when she turns him down. And then when he puts on Larry's skin and talks to Kirsty, and he talks to her very sensually, and it's just kind of disturbing. I'm also disturbed by the fact that Julia seems to have absolutely no cares at all for her family, for her husband or her stepdaughter, where she'll just hook up with Frank and kill these people to get him back when it's obvious that